Well, hello there. After a very long time, I'm back. I know it's been a while, but I was on a self imposed sabbatical. I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm going to tell you straight up the way it is. On November 5th, I took a real nosedive in mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We all know why. And I found that I needed to take some time to restore in my own heart and soul the teaching and how it's still working, even though everything seems like it's not. Forgive my weird lighting. I've been trying to work with one of those little round lights because I always look so dark in here. But anyway, getting back to tonight's Easter message. Easter is resurrection and new beginnings. And Spirit was nagging at me for a while, saying, you're not doing what you really love. You're not doing what you really love. And what I really love is sharing this fabulous teaching, the spiritual teaching of unity. So I had an opportunity every year for, I can't tell you how many years, probably around 15 years or so. I have done an event in town they call a crosswalk. They take a cross and they walk a path around town, stopping at different churches and stuff. And so I'm one of the speakers for that. So, and I looked at the scripture I got, and I got forsaken and forgiveness. And I go, yeah, I'm that stop. I usually get that based because they do it on the 7 last words of Jesus and like that. So I had a lot of thinking to do about that. When I did that, they gave me 2 scriptures to assist me to use as a guide. They're very common, that the common lectionary ties them together all the time. One is from Matthew that says, my God, why have you forsaken me? And it reflects back to a psalm. And the psalm, of course, that's from the Old Testament. The psalm said, my God, why have you forsaken me? So they always tie it together. And I thought, you know what? I don't know that that's right. So what I did is I took away the psalm and I thought about what Jesus was really feeling. Jesus it said he took on humanity, took on human life, a human body. And I thought, okay, he was human. So we think about him being on the cross. And I honestly don't think he was thinking about quoting a scripture. I think he was expressing what his human part was feeling. My God, why have you forgotten me? We had a deal here, And I think that's okay. I kind of came down on myself hard about feeling disconnected from my teaching, the Spirit and everything, by what's happening in our world right now. And so I thought, well, I bet Jesus felt pretty bad. I mean, his friends ran away, and his mom was there, and John, one other, and he was probably even feeling like, oh God, and I'm bringing this on you too because you're so sad, And then the people who were mocking them, and what do you think they were saying? Oh, you thought you were so smart. Where's that teaching now? How's it working now? Right? So I thought, maybe I can relate to that. You'd think like, well, we know how the story turns out. We know Easter Sunday comes and everything's going to be fine. Yet, it doesn't feel fine. And within each one of us is the same battle between our human part and our divinity. Within each one of us is a spark of divinity because we're all children of God. And how brightly how effective and bright that spark of divinity can be it takes work sometimes to keep it going. So sometimes I got very into my humanness, okay? I mean, I got really into, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I do the battle quite frequently. My God, why have you let this happen? Have you? But it's important to know the reason we want to look at this crucifixion experience is because we are going through a collective crucifixion experience. And you're going, what do you mean by that? Well, we're all going through great change. We are working to become more of the divine. And if we want to be more divine, we have to face honestly and to the best of our ability that part within us that is human. And we have to work on that, and we have to work on it collectively. We're not supposed to be divided. We're supposed to be united. And we've become very, very divided. I mean, in our world, not just our country, okay? Because we were meant to be together. Our human part and our divinity is meant to express together because we are one. We are one with our own being. We are whole. Don't go out looking for your other half. You're whole. And another person that you align with, well, that's a nice thing, but you are whole just as you are. And don't come down on yourself if you're feeling very human and saying and doing things. I got a wrist tap from my niece today because of something that I posted, and my human part posted that, okay? So the crucifixion means to cross out. We are crossing out the errors that are in our life, that are in our thinking. And to me, that's what, when I look at a crucifix, I see Jesus showing us how far are you willing to go for what you believe? How much do you trust God? And I don't think there's a more important question than that, So another thing, I changed the scripture, so here's a new one. It's not a new one, it's just something that I'm sharing tonight. This comes from 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. But understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty. For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having the appearance of godliness, but denying its power. Avoid such people. And to be perfectly honest, I think that we're all going through that to a degree right now, no matter what side we're on. Inside, we're all one. So we have to stay away from, when it said stay away from those people, metaphysically interpreted, people represent our thoughts. So we want to keep the negative thoughts away from them. Now, we're not denying they're there. We're not denying they exist. We're denying that they have power over us. We're here for a reason. We're going through this now for a reason. That scripture said in these last days. Is it these last days? Well, what do you mean by that? Are we going to blow up the planet? There's always a last before there's a new beginning, right? There was the crucifixion before there was the resurrection. So in these last days of the experience we're going through, it's very painful. And, so how many times today have you said, I wish things would change? Do you want change? Do you want change? Do you want to change? If we want change, we've got to be willing to change. And we've got everything we need to do that. some people look at Easter and Jesus and rising from the dead and everything. They look at Jesus as the great exception, but Jesus is not the great exception. He's the great example. He taught us that. He taught us that when he said, "These things I do, and even greater things shall you do if you believe. Believe on me." He did it. There were witnesses, and we have to have that kind of trust. If we look at the three things symbolic in the crucifixion, one is that he had a crown of thorns put on him. And who put that crown of thorns on him? The people. It is the lower consciousness that is like everything in that reading from Timothy. The hands being pierced, which, we can say, well, yeah, but it was really the wrist, but that doesn't matter. The hands represent our works, the things that we do. So we want to do things that are positive and spiritual. And then the feet is the understanding. That's one of my things, because sometimes it's hard to understand when you're supposed to pray and when you're supposed to act. And when you're supposed to act, how do you act? We hear a lot of things today, and one of the things that brings us into a dark place is that we are unaware of what is true anymore. It's like, what is true? Is I heard this, I heard that, so-and-so said that. What is true? There's only one truth. Truth is absolute, eternal, and unchanging. There is no such thing as alternative facts. Facts are facts, okay? So whenever we speak out, whenever we act, we want to make sure our words are true. Now, there's one other thing. I'll look at my time. I'm trying to keep this short so that you have other things to do, I'm sure. But the other thing is, don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. I hear a lot of people saying, "That's it, I've had it, I don't want to do it, and not doing any more about this." And some people say, "What's with all the protests? Why are they protesting? It doesn't work anyway." Does it? I think it does. Why? Because we're speaking our truth. And as long as we are aligned with truth and know we are speaking the truth, don't go reading a headline and saying that's the truth. Read the whole thing and then verify it. Check it out. Because if you don't align with truth, that which is absolute, eternal, and unchanging, you are building a life of cards, a house of cards, and all it takes is one thing to make it fall down. If we stand on faith and don't try to live on, don't make opinions. It's not all about opinions. Stay close to God. Spend time every day to do a little prayer. In the morning, I always begin with 5 things I'm grateful for and why. I remind myself, no matter how shaky and scary this world looks right now, for this, saying the same thing to you. For this I was born, for this I have come into the world. Can you say that for yourself? Say it. I'll give you a second. Say it. For this I was born, for this I have come into the world. And that's you. And it's me. And we want to have a better world. Another thing I always say to God, to Spirit, is, guide me. Lead me, guide me. I dedicate and consecrate my life to you. Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? Say that every day, because if you're praying that in a sincere heart, you can't go wrong, right? And when you make those really human mistakes, forgive yourself. We talk about forgiving other people all the time. Sometimes we have to forgive ourselves. So for now, I'm going to bless you on your way, and I'm going to go on my evening way. And I thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I look forward to seeing you again and again, because I think that's what Spirit really wants me to do. I have missed doing it. And I think hopefully you've missed the messages. So you have a great day. God bless, and know that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. God bless you.